We need some relief big time. And you know who's getting that relief right now? People with disabilities in the form of student debt relief. Now, this I am really happy about. This is a good thing, right? Do I think it goes far enough? I do not. I'm glad that Biden now sees that he has the power and ability to relinquish student loan debt. It's now time for him to do it for everybody. So basically what's happening with this student loan debt situation for the disabled or people with disabilities, I try to be mindful of my verbiage because it's important. But it's actually pretty cool the way that this is going to work out for them because essentially they don't have to even see. The problem is you had a lot of people with disabilities that were still bridled with the student loan debt for one reason, and that reason is that they didn't know they could apply to get their student loan debt forgiven. So the recourse is now what they're doing to fix this. And you got to think the Department of Education is doing something right here. Because this is, Biden can kind of shape and give the direction of what he wants to do. But ultimately, it's got to happen within those individual departments, right? They've got to execute on it. So what they did is they took out the step of having to apply for it. You don't have to apply for student loan debt relief if you're on disability. If you're on disability, starting in September, when they do the refresh, if you show up in Social Security as being on disability, automatically your student loan debt's getting wiped away. Automatically. It's going to erase $5.8 billion in loans for borrowers with disabilities. 5.8, and this is just the first round. Some people are still in the process of getting their disability, or there could be some where it doesn't hit right away. This is actually going to take care of this going forward. It's not just happening this time. It will continue to happen. So basically what happens is they're identified through a data match with the Social Security Administration. The next match, like I was saying, is in September, and it's based off those who were identified in June. So, September is going to pay for those identified in June. I'm guessing that they're going to do another refresh probably in a couple months that will continue to hit all these segments of people. They're also going to eliminate a significant hurdle for those borrowers who have been approved for loan discharge. So basically what was happening is people would get some money in. They were on disability or whatever, and something would happen. Maybe they had a windfall. Who knows? Maybe they inherited some money or something. But if within the last 3 years or the first 3 years after discharge, they were monitoring them to see what their income was. And if it spiked, they're reinstating the loans. So it looks like what they're doing here is they're going to do away with that. That's good. I'm really happy to see that. I am ecstatic to see that. And I'm glad that Biden, to that end, I'm glad that Biden extended the moratorium on student loans and the interest. But I think he should just do away with the interest altogether. If he doesn't want to forgive the student loan debt, the least he could do is stop the interest. Because that's where a lot of the bleeding is for a lot of people. It's not the student loans themselves, it's the interest that they get stuck paying on them. And that pause extended until the end of January. So at least on the student loan side of it, I'm hoping that through the cancellation of the disability debt, that we can also see its viability in providing that cancellation to everybody else. Because there's a lot of people that, graduated school, like Cindy is saying here, her student loan debt ruined her 20s, and I'm sure it ruined a lot of people's youth trying to pay that shit back. But like someone like me, I had some unforeseen circumstances. I wasn't able to finish my degree. I'm stuck without a degree. I'm bridled with a lot of debt because of the type of degree I was getting. I could use that. I also feel like I kind of got screwed because one of the things that happened when I was in college is when I got to the last class for my program, I was told that the certification requirements had changed and I needed to retake the whole fucking program again in order to be able to pass the exam, certification exam. Not for my degree. I'm talking about to get certified in the field I was going into. So what's that do for me? I got to go back and take four classes all over again? And that's at my expense. I got to take out the student loans and I got to pay for that shit? I just paid you guys for this shit. Are you fucking kidding me? No, that's why we need student debt relief. That's why we need tuition-free community colleges and trade schools, at the very least, at a base level. When this shit happens, we all suffer. When we are all bridled with the same debt, the economy suffers. The amount of money we'd be pushing back into the economy just by relieving student loan debt would set most people right. Most people that went to college anyways. And if we provided tuition-free trade school and community colleges, our skilled labor force would have the tools to continue their education. They need those tools. They need the tools to continue their education. They need continued learning just like in any other field. I do think it's good, though, that they're doing this for people with disabilities. I really do. I think that is, you got to start with the people who are the most vulnerable, and I think that's a good place to begin.